You're watching Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney, Southwest Florida's #1 show for smart retirement planning. He's a best-selling author, radio personality, and a fiduciary advisor you can trust. Get ready for expert insights, straight talk, and strategies to secure your future. Now, here's Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor, Eric Kearney.
So glad you are with us again on Retirement Talk. Brad Johansson with Eric Kearney. I'm always excited to be with you just because of the education process we go through. So thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Of course, Brad. Good to see you so much.
We've done a show in the past about women. It gained so much attention that we thought, you know what? Maybe we do a show on women and investing and finance 2.0. So if you go back to my day, I guess that's Bionic Man. No, it would be Bionic Woman. Lindsay Wagner, I think, was Bionic Woman.
That's right.
So let's go Bionic Woman 2.0 on this, right?
Absolutely.
So, and the guide that you have here, I take me through this because people are going to want to get this.
Yeah.
Randy, if you do me a favor, we have a spot to be able to do this. As Eric talks about this, if you could put this up on the screen for investing for today's women, if you want to scan the QR code as we lead into this, I want to give you the opportunity because I know sometimes your time is fleeting. We're grateful for your time here. But as you walk past the TV, scan this QR code for this. What are they scanning for, Eric?
You know, Brad, this has gotten to be our #1 download. And so we realized about a year ago that Western and Southern did a study, and it shows that 56% of women pre-retirees are completely unprepared for retirement. And so we've been working with female clients for a very long time. They definitely have their own issues, and so they are different than typically when a man retires. Now, for a female, they're very nurturing, and we've all known this, right? So they're raising children. So a lot of times they're entering into the workforce a little bit later, which does affect their income and ultimately how much they're actually contributing to Social Security. Interestingly enough, when they do go back to the workforce, a lot of them are exiting the workforce early to take care of a parent or a loved one.
Yeah.
It's a huge income issue for female investors. And so it does affect them in the long term. And so about 10 years ago, we realized that, and that's where we started doing planning for female retirees completely differently.
Is the world changing on you say over the last 10 years we started doing this? Has it even in that time changed for women now financially?
Sure. Yeah. And the money that they're managing now is astounding. So in 2018, women controlled about $10 trillion. By 2026, this year, they're now controlling over $20 trillion. But there is something that we want to let them be aware of. And it's this massive transfer of generational wealth that's coming over the next 2 decades. Over the next 2 decades, there is expected to be $124 trillion that's going to be passed on to other people, beneficiaries.
How to comprehend a number like that?
It absolutely is. It's such a massive number, but all these baby boomers that have all this savings, when they pass away, it's going to trickle down. Even more interesting is that 70% of that $124 trillion is going to pass on to females, wives, sisters, nieces, daughters, and we're not prepared for it. We're seeing where a lot of people are inheriting this money now, and they're not prepared for it. So really, I'm not trying to be dramatic. If any of you know me, I'm pretty laid back. I like to have fun. I'm telling you right now, this is code red alert that we need to be prepared for this money that's coming down before it literally catapults us into a higher tax bracket, among other issues. We've got to be prepared.
We've spoken about this before in other programs. We've talked about couples getting together on this. We've talked about what changes when one is left. And we're throwing out a lot of numbers. Here's a staggering one. The average age of a widow in America is 59 years old. If you're starting to move into that and you say, you know what, I haven't done any of this before. Right. Do we begin with many of them? And I don't want to make it seem like I'm downgrading at all. It's just the stereotypical is that most households, the man is handling a lot of the major finance.
Right.
Maybe women are handling a lot of the household finance. What's the first thing that you approach with many of these in this red alert of here's where we need to start understanding what's different in 2025?
Yeah, and I think you bring up a really good point, the stereotypical. We're not trying to be that. We just want to be realistic. We want to be optimistic. We have to realize that women live a significantly longer life than the average male. And that's what we need to be prepared for. So a lot of times it's okay if the woman never handled the finances, but at some point they've got to start getting involved in this. They've got to start saying, okay, I need to be involved in the income plan, my tax plan, because there is the widow tax penalty that comes down. And when all of a sudden, if your husband passes away, you now take over that income. You go from married filing jointly to now single, which catapults you into a higher tax bracket. So we're not really prepared for that. And this is what we're trying to alert people and saying, look, you may not need a financial plan this year, but sooner or later you are going to need one. Okay,
I'm going to bring this up, and it kind of just pops into my head. Okay, yeah, we're talking about when we lose one. Look, divorce is a real thing that we have in our society now. So women who have not been handling it are now moving into a bracket now of filing singly and understanding that they now are having to learn how to run this. Is that part of the dealing? It's not just a loss of spouse. It's right. It is the dealing of a very changing of a household.
Right, exactly. And so there's a lot of different ways where women can become independent, right? So, and this is one thing that our financial planning department does a fantastic job with. Donna Krohn is a certified financial planner, and there's a lot of female investors that come in and they say, look, I'm more comfortable working with a woman, and we completely understand that. So they're going through the entire financial planning process, and we're really helping them to be more aware of their financial situation and trying to help them understand their tax plan, where their income is going to come from, because we still want to maintain that lifestyle with dignity. So there's so many different changing parts, and it is different when you work with a male or a female.
Sure, but it's not exclusive to one sex or the other. I mean, on things like market volatility, we're all worried about market volatility at this point. And yet we've been told that's the place that we have our money.
Right.
And once you start moving, how do you adjust with that? If we're staying on, women need to understand what market volatility is, especially moving into a new direction.
Right. So it's interesting because risk and reward should be talked about in the same breath.
Yeah.
Volatility and opportunity should also be talked about in the same breath. But why are we talking about risk and volatility? The market goes up, it goes down, it's pulled back, it corrects. Why don't we talk about how the market is positively sloped over time and how we can actually manage that, how we can maintain it, how we can monitor it to actually serve you best so that we can outpace inflation, pay your taxes, and still provide you with income over time. On top of that, we have health care, we have long-term care. And we used to plan for 15 to 20 years. Now we're planning for 25 to 35 years.
Yeah. I mean, and the idea is, how do I get confident with that? We talked about this, that there's as much emotional decision in the finances that we make as anything else. And when we have change in our life, what happens? Well, sometimes we lose confidence because what we'd known for so long is now different.
Right.
And I'm venturing into a new world. Do you play in the idea of confidence and understanding what you're moving into?
Sure. I mean, you have to understand when we're younger, we are creating our operating system. We are used to efficiency, optimization. We're optimistic about the future. We're willing to take on risk. That becomes our operating system. When we get older, we have to realize that now that we have to make a change also seems risky. And so now all of a sudden, what got us to our net worth, that stock market, maybe we don't like that stock market as much as we used to. But a lot of times people are going back to their financial plan, going back to their income plan, and we're realizing, look, the further that we progress in life, we also realize that our risk tolerance is going to change.
Yes.
And we can adjust that. but we're also adjusting it to make sure that your lifestyle is still staying in place. And so I think one of the biggest things when people come in and they download the guide, they give us a call and they say, my next step is I want a financial plan, I want an analysis of my current portfolio, and I want to do a full-blown income plan to see what is going to support my lifestyle.
Take us to break and tell them what you're offering. We've left this up on the screen for people to be able to get it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Ladies out there, if you are one of those 56% who is worried about their retirement, don't be worried. Let's see where you are right now and build upon that. Go to myincomeplan.com. You can download your very own women's guide, or you can scan the barcode on there right now. Let's get you started today. We're going to put you in touch with some of our other female clients who have become our very best advocates. Don't be afraid. Let's see where you are, and we'll see you soon.
All right. A lot of you have been watching for a long time, so let me put the phone number up as well. If this isn't what you want to do, I just want an appointment. I want a complimentary retirement income guide. 800-779-1942 is the number to call. We're going to continue to talk and learn on Retirement Talk right after this.
Hey everybody, we are back today with Donna Krohn, certified financial planner with Retirement Wealth Advisors, who heads up our entire financial planning department. And today, Donna, we're going to be talking about inflation. Holy cow, it's still an issue. This has played a huge role in our entire life lately. Now, inflation's always been around, but now we actually see it in our food, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, maybe even our income plans. So Donna, actually, how do we combat this?
Eric, it's important that we understand the impacts of inflation. First of all, it's nearly always present, and it needs to be accounted for over a long period of time. Inflation is also not applied evenly. For example, healthcare and education can be significantly higher than inflation we see on other goods and services. Inflation is also not just about how we spend, but it's also how we save and invest. So it allows us the opportunity to employ investment strategies that can hedge against it. So Eric, inflation is a very important ingredient in a holistic and relevant financial plan because it can reveal to us strategies to mitigate the impacts of inflation.
It seems like people only care about the hot topic issues, right? So, I mean, if interest rates are tough, they're like, hey, how is this affecting me? Now, all of a sudden, inflation has been an issue, but really, we've been talking about inflation for a very, very long time.
Yes, we've always built it into the financial plan.
Right. Remember that inflation's always going to be an issue. So could stagflation or even deflation. So if you feel like inflation is an issue, give us a call today. Let's get your financial plan done. Let's see how it looks in your income plan, and let's see if we can get you a well-rounded second opinion. Thank you so much for watching. And Cynthia, back to you.
I'll stand in for Cynthia on this one. Retirement Talk, Brad Johansson sitting in for Cynthia, and we're happy to be back with you as we're talking women in finance, because the last program that Cynthia did with you, Eric, was so popular.
Yeah.
It's time to talk more about this. And there's so many layers that we have to peel on the onion on this one. And I'll go to the very last one that we normally do, which is we want to wait. I don't care what my legacy is. I don't really have a whole lot. I certainly don't have an estate. I want to get into estate and legacy planning for women right now.
Yeah. You know, the biggest thing is that we put it off. It's really the final phase of retirement planning, yet we put it off. And so unfortunately, all the good things that have happened from estate planning, we have also seen a lot of very sad stories where they were put off or their advisory firm never even offered it. And so now all of a sudden we've aged into life, we've progressed into life, and now all of a sudden our estate planning options actually deteriorate. And so if I can tell a quick story about a woman up in Washington, D.C., she's contacted me over the past year. She's 86 years old. Her biggest asset is her home right outside of Washington, D.C., probably worth about 1.6 to 1.7. It's pretty much all she has. Her biggest thing is, Eric, I can't move in this house anymore. I can't take care of this house anymore. I'm living on my Social Security and a small pension from my husband when he passed away. I want to go into assisted living, but I want to leave this home to my children.
Oh, wow.
The problem is that her choices because she's put this off for so long, have shrunk.
Yeah.
And she absolutely feels like a prisoner in her own home. She wants to leave this home to her children and go into assisted living, but really her home is her only asset. And so she's going to lose that if she goes in there. If we were talking 5, 6, 7 years ago, we could have done something about that. But with the look back and everything, there's very little that we can actually do. So we talk on a regular basis, and I've helped her with a few things. But the bottom line is that these are stories that we see that are coming to our office way too late. So again, this is a code red alert to be prepared for anything that can come down the pike to make your life more comfortable. We want to live with dignity and we want to live safely. And so as women progress through life, we may want to go into assisted living just to live an easier life. And that's really what financial planning is supposed to do. A lot of people are focused on today. We are literally focused on 25 to 30 years down the road.
If we're doing all of this and looking at 25 to 30 years, sometimes people say, I don't want to play the what if. I'm going to let life happen.
Yeah.
I just want to kind of let it come to me during this. And the what if game may not be fun until you don't have a what if contingency for something down the road. So
Right.
Couples who are together, is there contingency plans as you work on this? Saying the woman's probably going to live longer than you.
Mm-hmm.
We need to understand where this goes.
Yeah.
Do you want this house to stay in your family? Do you have other things that you want to make sure that they pass on? Do those assets translate to something that you have to live on right now? How do we put all of that puzzle together?
Right. I mean, and that's through the process, the procedure, right? When you go to a doctor and you're not feeling well, you don't want the doctor to just give you a pile of pills and say, here, take these. You want to actually go through a procedure, a process. You want to make sure that they're asking you a lot of questions and actually diagnosing you. It's the same thing with your financial plan, your income plan, your estate plan. When you answer all of these questions, it's going to start to funnel down to what you actually need. So this is not everyone's income plan. This is my income plan.
Yeah.
And we have to realize that this is written specifically for you. Now, to address couples, the other thing is there's a lot of females who say, my husband tells me we're going to be okay. Sometimes you need to branch off on your own and say, look, you can do what you want to do. I'm going in to see Eric and Joseph and the team, and I want to make sure that I'm going to be okay.
I want to play off of that. I think a lot of you have advisors who are telling you when you ask, do we have a plan? And the answer comes back, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And you say, all right, my advisor says I'm going to be okay. Do you know what you have? Do you know what the plan is? Do you know if you actually have a plan? I go back to this all the time,
Yeah.
Eric, that accumulation advisors, and we've stayed with accumulation advisors for a long time,
Yeah.
done very well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you say to doctors, we got to have a specialty.
Right.
In moving over, do you help people, couples, women in specific, understand what they have and what the plan looks like going forward?
So I think if we've worked for an advisor for a long time, they got to us to a certain point. What I've been teaching in all the courses is, look, you might have gotten this far, but is that advisory firm able to take you to the next level? Or have they actually reached their capacity of advice? So if you're not getting all the answers to your questions laid out in front of you, there's probably a lot of missing pieces to that retirement puzzle. And specifically with women, we have to think about that extra 15 to 20 years. My mother is 89 years old. She took care of my father for about 6 years with Alzheimer's. It was not a pretty sight. It was not a great event. My parents both promised each other that they would take care of each other. My mother got the short end of that stick, and she went through hell taking care of my father. So it gets very emotional, and I'm not glad that my father had Alzheimer's, but it also helped me understand a lot of what my clients actually go through when you go through it personally. And that's where you dig down even deeper to put that plan together to make sure that they're going to be okay.
I appreciate that it's emotional because this means something. I'm gonna take folks to break on this. This is what's yours. If you're in that situation, and then this becomes emotional for you, because it's everything you have, it's everything you knew, it's everything you grew up with, and now it's different, and now you need help, and now there needs to be a shift. This is for you. Scan the QR code that's on your screen. Investing for today's women. And maybe it's emotional for you to reach out and say, I probably need some help right now. Go ahead and say, I need help. And then when you scan for this, you probably want to make a call. I would like somebody who's been through this, which Eric just talked about. It's part of life. The what ifs that happen, we can't plan for all the time, but we can plan for a retirement that's going to last 20, 25, 30 years plus. My mom's 97 moving into this. How much more do you need? You need somebody to help you. 800-779-1942. If this is you, call for help. We'll be right back.
You know who has one of the toughest retirements? Procrastinators. You keep telling yourself, yeah, I'm going to get to that. But after months turn into years, you realize that time is one investment you can't buy back. The earlier you start, the longer your money works for you. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Call us today for a complimentary review of your finances. 800-779-1942 or visit myIncomePlan.com.
Many investors are concerned about the world's economy. Other investors are concerned about the domestic economy. At Retirement Wealth Advisors, we're only concerned about your economy. If you have questions about your personal economy and your finances, give us a call today. You only retire once. Let's get it right the first time.
Retirement Wealth Advisors with Eric Kearney.
Glad you're with us on Retirement Talk. Brad Johansson with Eric Kearney. And I want to hit the podcast that you've got. Talk about that a little bit, because you've got some guests on there that are pretty significant as well.
Yeah, so we've been having a lot of fun with Farm Truck Financial. Go to anywhere that you see your favorite podcast and go to Farm Truck Financial. I'll tell you what, I've been in the business for 25 years. I love what I do. Last week, we had our 100th TV show, and now we're doing this podcast, and we've had so many great guests on there, especially a lot of female guests. And Brad, I actually have something for your wife. So in October for breast cancer last year, we had Farm Truck Financial shirts made.
Love it.
Yep. And so we got one for your wife, and I hope she enjoys this.
Thank
I'll give
you
that
so
to you
much.
after the show.
Fantastic. All right. FarmTruckFinancial.com. The Investing for Today's Women. This is the guide that we have for you. So scan the QR code. We're going to kind of try to wrap up a little bit more of this talk. We've talked about changes going into 25. Do women need to be thinking about what changes are coming in 2026?
Yeah. So one of the reasons that I brought up the podcast was we have some of the greatest female guests on there. One of them is named Angela. She's a Pilates instructor. So we kind of integrated a little bit of wealth.
You didn't do Pilates on this podcast.
I did not. No, I didn't. Okay. I didn't put on my my yoga pants.
You might get some serious hits if you told me that you went into the stuff and went into Pilates. All right. I'm sorry. I digress.
I'm definitely going to leave the Pilates for her. We wanted to implement wellness and health, and also a little bit of health in there. So we brought her on and to talk about Pilates, but we also got into talking about her finances. And when she came in, Brad, she realized that she was a saver and she had a lifestyle. And now she's like, I need a financial plan because I just have all this cash. What she realized very quickly was, she said, I realize now, Eric, I'm a saver, not an investor. And we actually explained the difference and, again, put her through the whole entire process. And she said, my mother lived until a ripe age of 98 years old. We have to be prepared that she could live to 98 or even 100. And so we put her money to work, and now her financial worries are a lot less. And she's like, I just want to focus on my health while you guys take care of my wealth. But there's other stories on there of women who had owned a business, sold the business, now are in retirement. There's women on there that are into real estate on their own. these women, again, try to become our very best advocates. And they tell me, Eric, if you know any other person that is in my situation, please have them call me. And so we will put them in touch with other female investors and say, hey, talk to them and see what we've done for them first. And that's a huge relief to them to know that somebody else was in their same situation.
Nice. And I don't know whether this is germane to sex, male, female. Should women be thinking about investing differently than men?
I think they want clarity over complexity, which I like.
Fair enough.
Men pound the table. I want more money, more money. Women want lifestyle. They want to make sure that they have experiences with their family. They want to make sure that their lifestyle is paid for, but they want proof. It's just like Ronald Reagan said in the 1980s, trust but verify. So you have to find the right person that you actually finally trust. And then when you find that person, they're building out your income plan. And so a lot of females that come in, they love the process that we put them through. They understand where they are today, tomorrow, but also 30 years down the road.
All right. Take people through what they have as we've left this up on the screen. And I hope for many of you that you've scanned this QR code to be able to help. A second opinion costs you absolutely nothing. Not doing it may cost you everything. Take people through what, even scanning this and saying, I probably would like to come in and see you, Eric. What does that look like?
So I want everybody to remember what I said at the beginning. There is a massive transfer of generational wealth coming down the pike. We have to be prepared to accept that money because it could catapult us into a bigger tax situation. We also want to create income out of it. We also want to create healthcare and long-term care out of that. So again, with this huge transfer of generational wealth, this is code red for a lot of people who will be inheriting money over the next few decades. So again, this is our #1 downloaded guide right now. It's the Women's Investment Guide. Download that today. Give us a call, 1-800-779-1942. We will give you plenty of female long-term clients that we've been working with so that you feel more comfortable about your financial future. Give us a call today, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks for joining us because your time matters. And we've talked about it on other shows. Doing nothing is the worst thing that you could possibly do. Take a step forward to help yourself and make the phone call to say, I can't do this by myself. I'd like a little bit of help. You just want a second opinion? Now's your time. You joined us today for a reason. It's to help yourself. 800-779-1942. Grateful for you being with us. Can't wait to see you in the office. And right back here next time on Retirement Talk.
Hey, Southwest Florida, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions after today's show, please give us a call.
Remember, you only retire once. Let's get it right the first time. Have a great week and an even better retirement.